You're listening to the Unreasonable Fridays Podcast Network.
Go ahead, stand up, stand up, stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up.
Welcome to another episode of AddSpace. I'm your host, Aaron Rand Freeman, but I'm not really the host. We all know why you're here. You're here to see the CEO, proprietor, art director, lead therapist, head of HR, head of payroll, lead QA, productioneer, Elise Bacon-Howard.
Hello. I'm here. My voice is continuing to deepen, which has been kind of funny. The funnier part I've realized about like taking testosterone and my voice deepening first off, I'm like really bad at tone anyway, like in recognizing my own tone, like it's just not capable of controlling my tone or recognizing when my tone is doing things completely not what I intend to. So there'd be times when I'm like, oh, that was really bitchy and that was way the opposite of my intent. It's gotten worse with like my voice changing and cracking, and it's been really funny.
I do not hear your voice cracking nearly as much as you say.
That's because I did a lot of singing for a long time, so like I do stuff to minimize the cracking.
Oh, you got the radio voice on. I hear you. Okay.
I mean, it's not even just radio voice. Like, I take care of my vocal cords when they're stressed out, and they have been very stressed out lately because apparently when your voice changes, your vocal cords are like, what the fuck? I'm in my 30s and we're doing what now? Excuse me. So I found like a lot of vocal cord exercises and just like care techniques that have been really helping to minimize the cracking. And if I'm going to be talking for a long period of time, I try to not talk for a bit as well. Just kind of give things a rest.
All right.
But also with us here of his own volition.
For the record, congratulations on your new job as the official choir director of Unreasonable Fridays. Congratulations, Elise Bacon. Good work.
Wait, we have a choir?
Yes, we do. Anyway, introduce our co-host.
Here of his completely own volition is Justin.
I am here
of
my own volition to talk about the games and the game space and the tech space.
And probably One Piece, because where there is Justin, there is One Piece references.
You know, I've actually, on this program, I have backed off of the One Piece references. Justin, but now that you brought it up,
you live One Piece references.
There is no reason why you should do that. There is no reason why you should pump the brakes on One Piece references.
Well, you know, it's more like I haven't really found a way to like fit it in.
You know, you fit it in. You go, listen up, nigga. We're gonna talk about fucking One Piece right now.
Okay, so actually, you brought up the hard R. One Piece actually just introduced their hard R character. Like the character that would definitely say the hard R. And he's a cop. So once again, goofy pirate manga, Oda's telling you cops are racist. Like that is, I don't. Anyways, like there's that meme floating around where it's like, you can learn a lot of things from anime. It's got My Hero Academia. You should always give 100%. It's got Haikyuu. Teamwork. It's got what was the other one? I think it was Promised Neverland. Never give up. And then for One Piece, the billionaire class is the world's largest military is nothing more than the enforcement mechanism of the billionaire class to keep you all oppressed, and they'll propagate their propaganda using the media, and the only way to fight them is to band together in a working class revolution. And I'm like, unironically, that is the plot of One Piece. Like, unironically, that is the plot of One Piece. The bad guys are literal billionaires. The Navy is their army, and they oppress the entire world who only exist to feed them taxes. And it's like, oh, like Oda's not even being subtle. This is like, it's literally just leftist propaganda. It happens to be leftist propaganda I agree with, but
I'm just glad you have another person you can regularly talk to One Piece about.
yes.
I mean, where is this
Yes.
person so we can have them on the show to talk One Piece with Justin?
They're one of our a friend we met through Final Fantasy.
Listen, if they can keep it together to be on the radio, we can have a One Piece episode. It's perfectly fine. I feel like it's important that we center every host's unique interests as much as possible and have hyper focus it for at least 1 or 2 episodes every few months so that we can understand, we can make it clear that you like One Piece, but you know One Piece.
It's been really funny to watch because they're both updated and they both like keep track of like when the new stuff is gonna be dropping and watch the Twitter accounts, and it's just I'm glad Justin has a person to talk to about One Piece with. It's been pretty funny.
It's been amazing. And like at this point, because we just wrapped up the current saga, the current arc, which has been 4 years. This arc lasted longer than the Trump presidency. For reference, most manga, the average shelf life of a manga is like 3 years. So this has lasted longer than possibly your favorite show. But yeah, no, it's an exciting time. And like week after week, it's been, hey, spoilers are out. Guys, stay off the internet. It's one of those. And we're like, oh, okay then. We're getting serious now. We're in the end game. We're finally in the end game.
All right. So we got to get this person on the show, just for the record. Just to make that clear, we're gonna have a One Piece spectacular. Where we'll talk so much about One Piece that will probably be flagged for some type of copyright infringement, which is the seal of approval. We did it right. We should definitely do that. Let's do this housekeeping now before we dive into talking. We have Patreon. It is for the betterment of our podcast. It is so Bacon can eat. It is so Njela, who we haven't heard from in a while, can also eat as necessary. And it is patreon.com/unfridays. It's patreon.com/unfridays. You can donate anything from $1 to $3,000, in which case I will officiate your wedding and I will help you usher you into a lifetime of love and happiness in union with the person you want to spend the rest of your life on this planet with. So
some terms and conditions do apply.
It will be the most entertaining shit show possible. The wider the couple, the bigger the shit show, but also the larger possibility for entertainment. So if you want to make a lifelong pact with your white partner to mind your business for the rest of your lives together and to use your union to help push each other to minding your business better each day and to stay out of my black ass business for the rest of your life in union, forever to hold each other's business and point it at each other at all times, forever and always, then yes, $3,000. I can help you. Do that thing with the love of your life. Eternal ties of minding your own business. Ushered in by me, Aaron Rand Freeman. How was that, Bacon?
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Thank you.
That sounds reasonable.
Sounds reasonable. It is perfect.
It's important, critically important that folks, base their marriage on communication, trust, and minding your own business where applicable. But again, that's for another day. All right, we've got things. I've got a notepad here. It says there are too many games out. We are being deluged and attacked. All we can do is chronicle our lives before we are eventually buried alive by our backlogs. Even for people who try to not keep a backlog like Bacon, having a backlog, we've reached the critical mass point of games being out where Bacon has a backlog, and now Bacon cannot buy any more games, but the games don't care.
The games don't care. It's so bad. I literally don't have time.
Yes, the games
I am unemployed, and I still do not have time.
Yes, the games walk in one side of the river and just walk out the other side of the river, emotionless, continuing their way towards you. I know. I mean, you almost had it. You had a plan to play Xenoblade Chronicles.
Okay. So I'm using like this new service that makes it easier for people to safely help me get some stuff. It's called Throne. It's been working really well. But I found that their ordering system gets really confused with pre-orders. And so after not getting my pre-order that I was supposed to get, that a friend got for me for my birthday, because it was my birthday game, they then like sent me the money to get said game. And I should have waited until I was like more in my right mind. But I did not, and I bought the wrong edition of Xenoblade Chronicles. I bought the Xenoblade Chronicles 1, the definitive edition, not Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which just came out. So I've been crying over my lack of Xenoblade.
Yes, you had a plan to play it during downtime in Final Fantasy. You were gonna fit in perfectly. How long were you? Like a month or so you weren't playing Final Fantasy?
It was like a month and a half of downtime, and I was gonna play all Xenoblade Chronicles 3 during that and stream it. And I didn't get my game. Like, I didn't even get the money for the game for like a good month, and then I fucked up the second part of it. So I was very, very sad about that, and I missed my Xenoblade Chronicles window. But I did play AddSpace Shipbreaker, which I believe is now on the Xbox. It was through Game Pass, but it just wasn't on Game Pass Xbox yet. It was just on PC. So I'd been playing that to get through, and then Kit Fox Games, the creators of Boyfriend Dungeon, had released an update for Boyfriend Dungeon, which I've been playing. And I just started my game all over again because I just wanted to see like how the new content fit in with the previous content.
Right.
Because it's just like there's like 3 new weapons and there's only 1 new dungeon. So I was just like, I would rather space out the new characters as I can, like within the content, instead of just like unlocking the dungeon and then grinding out the 3 new characters.
Right.
And so I actually feel good that I started like the game over. Also, it's just a short game. Feel good about making that decision. And the new content fits in really well. Like, because like one of the complaints I had was like the game feels too short, and I'm not a person who is bothered by game length. Like Stray was 8 hours like max, and I found that game to be the perfect length. Like, I do like short games. It's just the pacing on this one, it felt empty. The game felt like it needed more stuff in it. And so having these 3 weapons and that dungeon actually rounded out that experience really well. I hope for future content that it's not something. I hope for future content it's more they tack onto the end of the story and not have it so that you can do it while the story is active. Because as the way it is, like I feel like if they added new content and like made it available before the story ends, it would be too much.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Right.
Because like like that the story itself is pretty short. So I feel like if you shove too much into what is a clearly short time frame of a story, the pacing would just get really, really bizarre. So I hope that future content they tack on stuff after. But it feels really good right now, and they added character interactions. So like you'll just be walking and then you'll see like two characters interacting with each other on the map.
Right.
And you go and they're like having a full conversation. You get to see like, oh, they know each other and they're like really good friends, or they're just like helping them out, or they're just like, why are you the way you are? There's been a couple of scenes where it's just like between characters, you can tell they're not close, but they're just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And so it's added a lot to the story that's been I found really enjoyable and really fun. It definitely did a good job of fleshing out what was missing, and it was also free. So I was like, thank you, more content that's free at least.
All right.
And then the whole like new patch with new Savage tier and content in Final Fantasy 14 happened, and I'm crying. Because Splatoon 3 just dropped.
Right. So
like 2 days ago? Is it 2 days? Is it 3 days? A week?
I do not know. I know Splatoon. No, it's been maybe a little over a week, because I know noted activist, speaker, public commentator Jeffrey might have mentioned it last week, and then we just kind of did the thing. So we got it. You got it like yesterday.
Yes, I got it, and I did my first like Splatoon drawing. Now I need to get a special pen that I can draw my Nintendo Switch with.
Like a stylus?
Yeah.
Switch is a stylus?
You can get styluses that work on the Switch. Yeah.
Okay, shoot.
And there's actually a Nintendo Switch, I think, branded like one that's going to be releasing soon, or one that's going to be specifically for the, like, I don't know if it's also Nintendo branded, but it's like specifically made for the Nintendo Switch that's releasing soon, because like, of course, with Splatoon 3, why would they not? But yeah, that is what I am hoping for.
Right. That's too many games at once.
I'm crying.
I'm sorry. I will inevitably need you to play Steel Rising as the Dark Souls person player of the group. You'll have to play Steel Rising. You're on the hook. That is what I've been playing. I realize how much I like aftermarket Souls games. I don't care for Dark Souls 1, 2, or 3.
Elden Ring's very good though.
Elden Ring is very good. Still don't care for it. Still feels like Dark Souls. My character's got stiff hips. I feel too plain. I know I gotta play more, but man.
You also need to play a different class. I think you need to be spec'd out for a different class, for a different like weapon build.
Well, what I mean is, and this is the thing, if you ever play Steel Rising, your character has the most interesting presence on the screen, where she has a very good walk. It's not a Destiny's Child walk, but it's the walk of someone who could punch through a wall and pull you out the other side of it, but is also like a dancing marionette. And it's just like the character you play is essentially a automaton. You're in I think like French Revolution France, and is it King? Which is King Henry, right? Was it King Henry? I don't know. Instead of the working class making a statement, he unleashes robots and kills everyone. And you are a robot guardian for the queen. And she sends you to figure out what the fuck is going on. And your character has this incredible presence in a very well realized world. And it's kind of what I mean. It's just kind of.
It was Louis the 16th.
Louis the 16th. Yes, he sent robots in this alternate universe, French Revolution. He sent robots and they descended on all of us and killed everyone.
Would.
It would. So you're trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. Playing as a strangely sentient robot that can talk, record information, respond, gets progressively more human the more you play, and trying to find that mystery. But the presence you have, and I think this is the most notable thing for me, I realize is when I say I don't like how plain you are when I play a Souls game, is like you kind of feel like I said, again, I would have to put in more time. But when I start playing it, I always feel like the same bland character from Dark Souls, and I don't like it. And I just don't feel like I have any business there. And it always bugs me out when I'm supposed to be kind of like, it takes me out of it, always has. And it's just playing as a character that has such a strong presence on the screen the whole time, where it's like, you kind of get behind it. You kind of get behind the character when you play that. Same reason why I like Sekiro. Even like Mortal Shell is like your character kind of had more of a presence on the screen. You kind of like are in this together with your character and their presence on the screen, even if you're not relating to the character one to one. And also doesn't help you can't make any black people in Dark Souls, but it's neither here nor there. And that achievement right there is my favorite bit of the game, where it's not just the world building, but the heft and presence of the world and your character's place in it. It's very clear that the robots would fuck everybody up. Like, all the humans are dead because these robots, they can't do anything. Like, they have muskets. They just ain't got it. I, however, can hit much harder than these robots, and I just give them the hands real hard and just disable them. I just disable them with my hands, and it's absolutely superb. I enjoy playing the game. It's one of those games where if you look at a lot of reviews, they'll talk about the game not having a lot of actual like tangible story, but it has such an incredible visual story that I always find it strange that people are kind of missing it. Like, it's not a lot of words read to you, but you literally walk from outside of Paris to the center of Paris and to figure out what's going on, and you take the whole journey on foot, and you find out exactly what happened in great detail by literally walking through it yourself. And it's
I find a lot of people don't respond or understand ambient storytelling.
It's a certain thing where it's kind of when we always say don't play games when you're stressed out, don't play games you don't want to play, don't force yourself to play anything. Because I think when you put yourself under the gun to play a game, when you start to narrow your vision, you miss what's to the sides, you miss the periphery of what you're playing. And this is definitely an example of it. Like I said, reviews kind of undermine the fact that there is an incredible visual tale being told about your journey all the way to essentially the end of the French Revolution via robot apocalypse. This is a wild sentence, and you walk every step of it, and it's just very, very well done. I would say you're going to play it. We're going to aim for Black Friday. It's a Black Friday special when Black Friday comes for all your games, and they're $20 or $24, $25. Absolutely, as many people should get it as possible. And it's a developing story. I'm about halfway through, and I will finish talking about it when I'm all the way through. Also, you can make your character black, and you can make your marionette black, and your character just is better as a black marionette, talking increasingly sassy to French elite as their world collapses around them. It just hits better. It's one of those accidentally topical things that developers sometimes do with no intention of doing so. But again, we'll talk more about that later. We do have, I think, Justin, what have you been playing? What's going on?
Well, I can tell you what I haven't played, and this is my confession. I'm confessing this to all of you out there listening. This is one of my most intimate secrets, and I'm sharing it with the world now. I have not played a Zelda game since A Link to the Past, and I saw that the Nintendo Direct, they announced Breath of the Wild 2, Tears of the Crown, and I was like, oh, I guess I should play Breath of the Wild, shouldn't I? Because I've Ocarina of Time didn't play. Wind Waker didn't play. Majora's Mask didn't play.
Tears of the Kingdom.
I just missed out on it.
It's Tears of the Kingdom, but please continue.
Tears of the Kingdom. Sorry, I knew it was something royalty related because the joke is that's why they didn't air it in the UK because. And I know that's not the real reason, but jokes greater than facts. The kingdom has their own issues, like football stadiums full of people chanting that their dead regent is in a box. That was wild to witness happen at several stadiums. But yeah, so I am going to play Breath of the Wild. Now that I am out of crafting hell, crafting all of the gear for our FC, want to take some me time, you know? I dipped my toe into Savage last year, and I was like, okay, this is definitely something I can do. I am capable of doing it. I just don't feel like dedicating the time to it. And that's okay. I've acknowledged that. I'm like, it's not a skill issue, because I can clear the tier. I just don't feel like dedicating that much time to it. I'd rather just pop in for like an hour or so and then pop out. And you can't do Savage that way. So.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can. You can do Savage casually if you want. But clearing the tier casually harder, but you can do Savage casually. But it also, like you said, you don't want to, and that's great.
Yeah. Like I am happier that my goal for this patch, or not patch, for this expansion, I want the EX mount before the expansion ends. And I can do that. Even if it takes, it's 5 mounts. No, it's 7 mounts. 7 times 99. Whatever. If it takes that many, then that's what it takes, damn it.
You won't have to do 99 on half of them because EX3 and EX4 are 2 totems.
For the mount? Oh, that's right.
Clear.
That's right. That's right.
For clear. You get 2 totems per clear, so it's like 50.
Praise Yoshi.
Yes. I will be I'll just be running EX4 like forever because I also really want the when I want as much of that material when those weapons glow as possible.
That's fair. That's fair.
I also want the the Endsinger one, but like I'm just gonna go as long as it takes for me to get the mount on that one because that one hits all of my disability issues. I just need to be carried through that one. I'm just like, just please carry me. Let me just stand on you. It's fine.
I mean, for EX3, that's literally all you have to do. Aside from like 2 mechanics, you can just stand on someone and you're fine.
Like, let me just stand on you. It's cool. I can, although like EX4, I can do my sleep. I freaking love that fight. That fight is so good. I love it. Not saying that it isn't difficult. It just hits the way my brain works perfectly. Super good.
And some fights are going to do that. Also, too many games. Stellaris, the new expansion is coming out. They're releasing a new species. Yes. The toxids, which are literally a species that has been raised on toxic planets. And they're allowing you to inhabit toxic planets now. So that's going to be very interesting.
No, give me the toxic planets.
So I'm very intrigued. I'm very interested. I'm excited to see where my Breath of the Wild journey takes me. I haven't started yet, but when I do, I will let everybody know.
You know, this Stellaris is the entire reason I want a Steam Deck.
Interesting.
The entire reason, because Stellaris is such a long game, and because of how much I sit on my computer for Final Fantasy 14, I try to find other games that I can play not at my computer. And the Steam Deck is literally why I want Stellaris, because Stellaris would be a very good travel game for me.
Yeah.
And a very good, like, I'm just gonna lay in bed and lose myself in the one more turn trap.
See, that's why I don't need a Steam Deck, because I would take Stellaris to bed, and then it's 6 o'clock, and I'm like, I need to be up now. Where has the night gone?
Luckily, when I'm in bed, when it hits that point, I'll just fall asleep. I'll just be like, and good night. And then I'll wake up to text on my screen being like, you have found this. Like, here's the amoebas.
Bubbles. Oh, Bubbles.
Oh, Bubbles is so good.
Okay, so Stellaris story that would only interest Bacon and like a third of our audience. So I apologize, I'll keep brief. But the last run I did, I managed to unify the entire galaxy under my empire. We beat back the crisis, and I was like, see, this is why you make me emperor. I will protect you. So I said, okay, I've already won. Let me see what happens next. Let's let the game go for another couple hundred years. They started rebelling. Like organized sabotage.
Why?
Like the plot of Star Wars.
Oh no.
I was like, what is happening? Why are my space stations suddenly exploding? Why are my planets revolting? So even when you have saved the galaxy from the Reapers, these ungrateful louts still want their democracy.
I have a question about Stellaris as someone who's never played Stellaris.
Yes.
Can you deploy Ozymandias's plan to ensure the consistent threat of danger to case people constantly focused on protecting themselves and away from self-sabotage?
Yes, that's actually how I united the galaxy. So I knew a threat was coming, and instead of stopping it ahead of time, I may have strengthened it a little bit so that when it showed up, everybody was like, oh my gosh, we need someone to save us. And I said, I will save you. And they handed over the keys to the Senate to me. We did the whole, this is how democracy dies with thunderous applause. It was great. We all know the meme. And then I took it out. I'm like, cool, galaxy saved. And they're like, hey, wait a second. Did we just cough up all of our freedom in exchange for security? And I was like, yes, you did. But aren't you happy now? They were not happy.
Ah, I see. So you started with the plan. Okay, cool. I was wondering whether you were going to evolve and kind of deploy the plan to get everyone back in line, but that's how you got here in the first place. And yeah.
Right. So I guess there actually is another way to do it. Like if I just create that's not the Ozymandias plan. That's still the Palpatine plan. 'Cause you can create like Death Stars and start destroying planets.
Oh, God.
To keep people in line. So I don't destroy the planets. My version of the Death Star just puts a shield around your planet and it cuts you off from the rest of the galactic community. You can watch, you can look outside of your fishbowl, but you can't leave your fishbowl.
Let's see.
It's a reminder, you see, of what happens when you defy the Empire. See, this sounds bad, but it's really not. Okay, it is that bad.
Okay, so my favorite thing about Stellaris right now is listening to Justin try to justify his decisions.
It's why I ask, because the details, because Justin was like, I unified the galaxy. And then if you go, that's good. How? And that's always the best bit right there.
Yada, yada.
My favorite is still listening to people justify their decisions for things in Stellaris, and it makes me laugh.
Oh no, I've just accepted. When it comes to Stellaris, I'm a fascist. Like, okay, fine. Fine. So the species I enjoy playing most is the fascist species. I do have my democratic science kitties that end up turning everybody into synthetics, and we all live
Oh, you
together
mean
in our cyber.
your eugenics believing democratic science kitties?
No, okay, so they fixed the racket, so the racket are fine now.
That's literally eugenics.
No, I meant the game fixed racket, so like they don't.
Oh, okay.
So I can like have them exist on my planets now. I don't have to remove all of their negative traits, which is eugenics when you say it out loud.
Literally eugenics.
Oh.
No. We don't go to war with people, though other people may decide to go to war with us for a variety of reasons that are totally have nothing to do with anything that I've done over here.
Their religion is literally capitalism. Like that's.
They're plants.
I thought they were butterflies.
Oh, yes, I forgot. They're capitalistic butterflies.
But yes. No, yeah, Stellaris will take. It will amplify your worst inclinations. Or it'll just amplify your better inclinations. You can actually work with the galaxy and try to get things done. And then you feel like Shepard in Mass Effect, where you're saying, hey, the Reapers are coming. And they're like, yeah, but we should bring back slavery. That's what did it for me. That's what did it. I actually had a playthrough. I was going through democratically. Everything was cool. Everybody got along. And I said, hey, this crisis is coming. We should address it. And they were like, yeah, or we could bring back slavery. And they voted to bring back slavery.
Well, I didn't say your pathway to world domination was bad. It's just it's got levels to it, and the levels are always entertaining. Because if someone tried to bring back what if slavery was back on the table, well then we have to respond. That's a bad discussion that we're having. So you did the right thing.
Once they made that decision, and I said, I'll give you a choice. I'll give you a chance, Galaxy. Because just because we're voting on it doesn't mean you have to agree. Because I had successfully banned slavery. They brought it back, and I said, cool. I went to every slaver's planet and put them in fish bowls, and suddenly the slavery problem went away.
I mean,
they had a chance. They had a chance. But, yep, I'll be checking out Breath of the Wild. I will be dipping my toes back into 14, trying to get all my EX mounts. I've actually decided I'm not going to get the new Dynasty Warriors. Like, I've been flipping on it for a while. I was like, it's Empires. I always enjoy the Empire series, but I can't get past how 9 plays. I do not like how 9 plays, so I'm just not going to do it. I went back and played 8 and said, this feels amazing. Why would I ever play?
Okay, I was wondering. Okay, because I have Dynasty Warriors 9, and I was like, this feels a little off, but I'm not a Dynasty Warriors person. And then I played the I forgot the name of the Hyrule Warriors. That was the one.
Yes.
And that felt so significantly better that I didn't think, that's why I never brought it up, because I was like, obviously, I'm just not a person that plays Dynasty Warriors. I am a fool. I'm going to suck it up and get good. And then I played Hyrule Warriors, and I was like, oh, I was right. And I just never got around to actually bringing that up to you. Okay, so there's something wrong with Dynasty Warriors 9. Okay.
So, yeah, when 9 was announced and they showed all the things they were doing for 9, the community, in unison, we all agreed. We're like, okay, 9 is either going to be, like, great or trash. No in between. However, because this is what Koei does, they have an experimental phase, because they did this with Dynasty Warriors 6. They experimented with 6. There were some things in 6 that were good. There were some things that weren't. But 6 gave us 7 and 8, and 7 and 8 are the best in the series. So we're like, 9 is either going to be like flames or trash. But if 9 is trash, 10 is going to be the greatest Dynasty Warriors ever made. So like you'll notice, like amongst the community, 9 sucks, yeah. But no one's like, okay, this company doesn't know what they're doing. It's like, okay, they experimented. It didn't work. We already know 10 is going to be amazing.
Oh, wow. That's such a mature take.
That's what happened last time they experimented. It didn't work. And we said, okay, they took the things that did. So they probably, like, 10's not going to be open world. They're probably going to go back to unique weapons for everybody. They're going to leave behind current gen and just focus exclusively on next gen. Because that, if the pattern holds, that's what they'll do. And also, we know they can make good games because Hyrule Warriors, amazing game. Fire Emblem's Three Hopes, an amazing Dynasty Warriors game. My only issue with Three Hopes is it feels like an incomplete game. Like the actual playing the game feels great. The story feels like it feels like a chapter is missing. I don't know where that chapter is missing, but it feels like a chapter is missing. But Three Hopes is fine. I like Three Hopes. Great game. And I don't know how to explain. Like, it just feels like there is something in the game that is missing.
Oh, I understand what you're
narratively.
saying. Oh, I understand.
But like, it's a complete narrative. Like, it tells a story from A to Z. But I
just need a little extra.
Yeah, it needs some. It needs some seasoning. It needs some. It needs some little bit more sauce. But yeah, no, Three Hopes is fine. Like, if you enjoyed Hyrule Warriors, you would enjoy Three Hopes.
Okay,
and it's a Fire Emblem game. So
okay, I will keep that in mind because, like I said, Hyrule Warriors, because I was wondering, because I hadn't played a Dynasty Warriors game in a minute, and I bought 9, and I was like, oh, that's probably why I haven't been playing them. And then I played Hyrule Warriors, and I was like, oh, this other game is a problem. But then I never got around to Fire Emblem because I spend all my money in groups of $10 on classic shooters. So I don't have the $60 aggregate to pay for a full-priced release of any kind.
If I'm not mistaken, Dynasty Warriors 8 is on Game Pass. Like 8 Extreme Legends and 8 Empires are all on Game Pass. You specifically would like 8 Empires.
All right. I actually have an app conveniently located. I will actually set it to download right now from my conveniently located Xbox Game Pass app. Here I go. Let's take a look. But yes, please continue.
No, that's it. That's what I'm doing over here. And, avoiding the crypto crash, because I can't believe a currency based entirely on the concept of currency and not an actual thing that has value is crumbling and crashing around us. I am shocked. I am shocked that Web3, based entirely off of what is effectively Handshake Protocol 2.0, is crumbling around us because people are trying to capitalize on a handshake protocol. Okay, guys.
What? That seems legit. Like, I don't understand that. I don't understand the problem.
Like, blockchain has a very specific function, and they keep trying to make blockchain do everything except the function that it has. Right? Blockchain is good for verifying that a thing exists. That's it. That is all blockchain is good for. Blockchain is good for verifying that, yes, this thing is the thing that it purports itself to be. That doesn't mean that you should use blockchain as a basis for your currency. That doesn't mean you should use blockchain as a foundation for your DLC. You know what blockchain is great at? Banking. It is great. It is great at verifying that the person conducting banking transactions are who they purport themselves to be. It's great for that. It is not great for the foundation of a cryptocurrency. Not so much. Not so much. But hey, they're going to keep trying, so good luck.
What happens to, how do I put it? If this keeps happening, when will eventually people just kind of lose faith in cryptocurrency? Or is it just going to be a drum that's going to be banged until they get it right, if they can get it right?
I would have thought that the gag on cryptocurrency would have been up when Elon Musk got all those people to invest in Dogecoin, took their money, tanked the value of said cryptocurrency, Dogecoin, and then said, I'm no longer accepting this cryptocurrency. He pulled the scam in front of you. And you were just like, well, game is the game. That's when the jig on crypto should have went up. That is the story of Dogecoin, like the TLDR version. Elon Musk said, here's my new cryptocurrency, Dogecoin. It's a meme coin. So all the tech bro Elon Musk lovers were like, oh, this is so cool. This is so awesome. They bought into it. They inflated the value. He shorted it, took all their money. The value of Dogecoin tanked. And then he said, I am no longer accepting Dogecoin as purchases for my products.
Funniest shit ever.
And the people he scammed still defend him. I'm like, he took your money and laughed at you while he did it.
I mean, it's not the government. I assume that this is a product of general mistrust, misinformation and mistrust, is that we're willing to believe anything but what's in front of us, as long as we can make up a story about it. It seems like it kind of goes hand in hand. So that's why I'm asking if we will keep banging this drum, because it feels like people keep lying to themselves until it kind of lucks out. If it can, which is kind of the question. Can this be brute forced into an effective system, a monetary system?
It can be, and it will be by the federal government.
Oh.
That is the end game for crypto. It will be brute forced by, well, I shouldn't say the federal government because that implies America, but a state government, whether it's America or some other country, will have a crypto variant of their own state currency. That is the end game for crypto. Especially because now that it is in the light and it is no longer a currency that people use to make deals on the dark web, people are going to want, hey, you're making these money transactions. Your government is going to want a piece of that eventually.
All right.
Like that is the end game for crypto.
And
like
then,
there will be a crypto variant of the US dollar. It's basically just the dollar, just in crypto form.
Oh, and then crypto people will, some folks will eventually grow to distrust that, and we will start over with another currency. And we will begin another cycle. And then the Reapers will come and destroy human life.
Well, because like the appeal of crypto comes from a lack of faith in institutions. We do not trust we do not trust governments. Government doesn't know what to do with your money. So I have this crypto that they can't touch. The government can't touch my money. Ask all these people getting caught up. Ask your boy that we covered before. I think it was the boy that's fleeing China and America.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh
if
my
they
God.
want you, they will find you. You cannot hide.
They finna find him. Oh my God. He pissed off everybody.
Well, I think even in his scams, he says, I plan to get caught. So I have to have an escape route. And I'm like, it's not a bad plan.
Honestly, the one person who was prepared to get caught.
Yes.
And they're still not white. Sorry, I'm still watching and paying attention to the January 6th trials.
Okay. Briefly. These motherfuckers took notes on a criminal conspiracy, and they're being all of them, because there's one Twitter account I follow. This guy, I guess he's the reporter for this. Ryan, yes.
I love him.
They're all shocked when their own words get read back to them on the stand, or the video that they took while they were fermenting insurrection gets shown to them. They're like, I didn't know. I didn't know you could do that. If we had a better class of criminal, this country would have folded upon itself.
My favorite part about it is, like, it's been several weeks since this one, but the one whose own lawyer was like, I'm sorry, my client's an idiot.
Yes.
He's like, the defense I have for this is my client is a complete and total idiot. Like, that was the actual defense.
Yes.
I'm like, what was it? This last one. this last one that I was looking at was particularly graphic, but like, dude was just like, I wasn't doing anything. Like, they all have the exact same lines. This nigga brought a taser, taught somebody how to use the taser. That person then took the taser and attacked a cop with it in the back of the neck, and I think that cop died or was super injured, but like it was like not like it was lethal tasing amount. And they're trying to be like, I wasn't, nothing happened. Who you gonna believe, me or your lying eyes?
Yeah. I think it's funny that you suffer from secondhand embarrassment, but you keep track of those trials, which is just like secondhand embarrassment,
because I can't
nuclear
relate.
detonations.
Because it's fantasy levels of shock. It's not like the secondhand embarrassment of like, I'm going to say something extremely problematic and think I'm being cool level. It was like in a lot of these shows, you're like, I'm gonna say something wild or do something wildly embarrassing, and you know that thing is wildly embarrassing. But this is like, these are people who have no semblance of any accountability and are still trying to lie to the feds on the stand, and like the sense of amazement and confusion overwrites the secondhand embarrassment.
That makes sense. You need to be grounded in reality at all for secondhand embarrassment. This is high fantasy. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, no, it's complete high fantasy.
People doing a ridiculous thing and then on camera writing it down with evidence and then having it, like Justin said, pointed directly back at them and read to them and shown to them, and they just don't know what they literally have to react in real time. You're right. I see what you're saying. So
yeah, it's like it's legit. Like, here's the kid. The kid is eating cookies. All of the cookies. There's cookie crumbs all over their face. They've got chocolate smeared on their face. They are still holding cookies in their hands. There are crumbs everywhere. And you walk in and you're like, why did you eat all the cookies? And they're like, I'm not eating cookies.
Yeah. I always tell
but,
her.
But coming from adults who know better.
I always tell Erica that I think men and white folks in America generally make stuff up under the weight of the agreement of men and other white folks where applicable. So they'll just say whatever, and if enough white people and or men nod along with you, then it is now a thing. And I think that is how chunks of America get along, is by saying whatever and then having a room nod along with them. And when the room's large enough, then you don't ever have to worry about it ever. If the city's large enough, the town's large enough, the function's large enough, the institution's large enough, then you never have to worry about a fact ever again. And man, when watching those institutions be stripped away in real time, on the stand, on camera.
Okay,
Jesus.
here's a great example. I pulled up Ryan J. Riley. If you want to follow any of this, Ryan J. Riley on Twitter. He is a reporter. I have been following him since he was covering Ferguson stuff, because he was like one of 3 journos who were out there who weren't hot garbage. He's covering all of these. And so like this latest one, so we have this man, Robert Packer, wore a Camp Auschwitz staff sweatshirt on January 6th. He told the FBI that he was wearing it because he was cold. His sister was telling the judge that you shouldn't judge a book by its cover.
Right.
Want to know what he was wearing underneath the sweatshirt?
What was he wearing underneath the sweatshirt?
An SS shirt.
But he was extra cold. I get it. I mean, the Northeast is very chilly bacon, and it's important that you wear layers. And it can cause major health issues if you get too chilly too fast. So you have to
like
wear.
all of the people there were, like we're a very heavy social media, like everything, right? So, when there's large events or etc., people go, they take pictures, they post all those pictures on social media or whatever version of social media they're using. A lot of them use Telegram. Like Telegram is more secure, and the feds can't get access out of Telegram. Like, no, or like we totally can't get pictures. We can't get images. Telegram is so secure that the FBI can't get images off of it. Yes, they can.
Yes.
If you have a phone with information on it, the FBI can get that information. If you're they're posting it on Facebook, on Twitter, on their Discords. Guess who the FBI can go directly to the company and be like, "Give me the shit," and they'd be like, "You right? Here, take the shit."
The having everyone that looks like you sit in a room and nod to everything you say system has hard limits and flaws. One of them being that you don't know how anything actually works. Like, aside from being on the stand and Pikachu facing being presented your own actions in real time, you also just don't know how anything works. Like how just basic law enforcement works, how communications work, because again, someone might have said something to you, and you being the white person and or man that nods in agreement, just nodded in agreement, and no one learned anything. So someone said a telegram cannot be tracked by the U.S. government because it's a paper message. So get the paper and destroy it. And they all said yes. Oi, oi, oi. They all nodded in agreement, and that was their decision to have some secure communications.
Do you know what the funniest part about this is to me right now?
What?
Because like Bannon's been taken, Bannon's officially been arrested. Like there was the raid, not really actually a raid, but they just went with a warrant to Mar-a-Lago. I'm like, that's not a raid. But okay. You have all of these people who are yelling at the feds and the FBI, like all of these like racist people, and they're calling them like liberals and like all sorts of, whatever they call anybody they think is not alt-right or Republican or like the both. I hate to break it to you all. to the point where what's that asshole's name
which asshole?
Head of the GP right now, the GOP,
Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, sorry, was like, please stop. They're like, don't call them that. I'm gonna need you. I mean, y'all need to stop calling them that. It was very clearly a y'all are like digging your own grave right now sort of thing, because like most of the people in the feds and the FBI are very conservative.
Right.
And y'all are yelling at them for doing their literal jobs.
Yeah.
And you have like the GOP politicians being like, wait, no, do not, stop, please desist, don't do that, while you have other GOP politicians also leaning in on they're working for Biden. They're following Biden's agenda.
Because the function of the cops is to keep the niggers in check. That's their function to these people. You're just here to keep those niggers in check. Now that they have gone outside of that boundary, now it's a problem.
I just love that you have some of the GOP folks being like, no, please stop doing that, stop yelling at them. Endlessly funny to me, Justin.
Yeah.
Completely unrelated and more on a positive note for the queers, and has nothing to do with politics unless you're talking about a social group.
Masterful segue. I love to see it.
Guilty Gear Strive developer and the game director once again were like, nah, bitches, Bridget is trans. She is trans. She is a girl. She is a girl. They came out, were like, they're like, if you follow like the arcade story, etc., she is a girl. Here's like her backstory and the backstory that led to her decision and her being free. She is a girl, and we are here saying she is a girl. And I'm out here saying Bridget is best girl. And I am also another game I need to spend money on, and just also don't have time. But I'm super happy that these Japanese developers were like, no, our problematic character that we did some questionable writing with is a girl, and we're sticking with this.
Yeah, like again, I do not play Guilty Gear. Everything I know about Guilty Gear, like most fighting games, I've absorbed through pop culture osmosis. I knew who Bridget was because for the longest time, Bridget was the poster child for one of the more unfortunate queer tropes in existence.
Mm-hmm.
And I am glad that they have said, no, she's trans. Like, she's a girl.
She is best girl. Yeah, no, I'm very glad that because like a lot of anime stuff has a lot of cross-dressing tropes. It's wildly problematic. Most of it's very anti-trans, but there's this trend lately that's been making it less insulting and more like, no, this is just fine. This is just a way that some people live, and some people are also trans. Like separating, there are some people who just enjoy wearing clothes of whatever gender, and also like there's a lot of gender non-conforming literature that is like the trope itself is problematic, but they're subverting that problematic trope to make it actually gender non-conforming friendly. And then you have ones where it's actually like, no, this person's just trans and it's cool. It's fine. We like support it. So there's been like this really neat push that's been happening that way. It's very more queer positive and like a lot of like Japanese media. And I've been like super excited about it. And this is just really one of them. And I'm just very happy that they're like, no, Bridget's a girl. She's a girl. Look at her living her best life. Also, her theme song is super fucking queer, and I love it, and it's full of feels. Everybody should listen to it. It's so good. And another queer win is A Story of Seasons, who actually they used to make that. They're the original creators of the Harvest Moon series. The studio is marvelous. They're like the original creators of the Harvest Moon series. They're remaking one of the older games, and so their Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life. And the most important part is that now you can choose your gender identity in this game. Like you could before, but you have the option to be male, female, or non-binary. The Japanese version, it says like other, but like in the English localized version, it's non-binary, and it's very clear. It's also on it's on their official website that it is specifically as non-binary protagonist. And they had already started making it so that you could be married with anybody of any gender, and that is still going to be continuing from now on.
Huh.
So queer wins.
If you want to bookend this, we can bookend this. queer wins in One Piece. You wanted bookends, so here we go.
Let's the bookend.
This last arc, Oda introduced 2 trans characters, and they are 2 of the most beloved in the franchise for their arcs that they just had. And you can tell that he has really learned from when he first introduced trans characters into his story. He leaned into a lot of problematic tropes for gags, and you can tell since those characters first appeared, he said, "You know what? That was wildly offensive. I'm not going to do that anymore." And so now we have Kiku, we have Yamato. Kiku is a trans woman. Yamato is, for all intents and purposes, non-binary. They're female presenting non-binary. Yeah. And their transness is not a gag, as he would have done 10 years ago.
Okay.
So
I love the growth.
Yeah.
I love the growth.
Even so, the first trans character he introduced with the name, Ivankov, their ability, their devil fruit is hormones, and they are literally gender fluid. Sometimes they're male, sometimes they're female, sometimes they're neither. It's whatever they feel like in that literal panel. And they represent freedom. They do not want to be bound by society's laws that say, I have to be one thing. I can be all things. I have to be X. No, I can be XYZ. I can be whatever. That is how I interpret and manifest my own freedom. On paper, that is brilliant narrative writing. In practice, buddy, there were a whole bunch of transphobic tropes wrapped up in not in Ivankov specifically, but in Ivankov's followers. They effectively call themselves the queer kingdom, which is, again, a bunch of people that felt outcast from society, so they all latched on to Ivankov, who told them to embrace their true selves, and they're all trans women, and they embraced a lot of early 2000s cross-dressing transphobic tropes. But again, on paper, you can see, oh, this is great. Then you read it and you're like, oh, this is horrible. This is really, really bad. But there's growth, and we don't do that anymore. And I'm happy to see it.
Justin, you would be very happy to know that during this recording, I have crafted almost everything in the FC chest, except for I haven't finished the cloth because there's too much.
I actually thought about doing that. I thought about during this recording to just craft all the food.
I didn't craft the food part, but I crafted all of the mats. I've also put some of them up on the market board.
Oh yeah, because the weapon, it was also a machinist weapon, and machinists they get no love from the community these days.
I don't even get it why. Like it doesn't make any sense, but all right.
You explained it better in our FC Discord. A vocal minority of high-end raiders are like, this has no utility, and it's like, I mean, okay. I like shooting the gun.
I like the gun. Also,
the gun makes me feel good.
Also, it does have utility. It's just they're just not thinking critically about it.
Yeah. Well, critical thinking amongst that group.
Amongst gamers.
Yes.
Just gamers.
Yes. I believe that was the show, my friends.
That was the show. And Google's kicking us out, so we're on good time.
Oh, no, Google's fine.
Okay.
I was going to ask because you guys had mentioned that a raid was adjusted.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, okay.
I was waiting for one of the Segwateers. I made that word up. It's a Segway person.
I had honestly forgotten about it till you brought it up.
Very
so.
That's CFS, yo.
The short version, each raid tier has 4 bosses, and the last boss is called a door boss because the door boss has 2 phases. phase 1, and then phase 2, where you get a nice brand new form that isn't seen in normal mode. And the last boss is typically the hardest boss, and a lot of folks are having trouble clearing this last boss, which led to a lot of
people were consistently missing the enraged check on the door boss by 1%. And then the DPS check on the second phase is also super tight.
which is what led to the discourse around Machinist, the discourse TM around Machinist. The 14 team put out a patch, and in those patch notes, Yoshi P said, hey, our playtesters didn't have a hard time clearing this, but since y'all did, and y'all aren't as good as our playtesters, we just reduced the
That's not quite what they said.
That's what they meant.
What they said is because they had additional time play testing, the team got way better at it than they were supposed to and normally do. And they didn't balance the actual fight well enough because the team got too good.
That is wild.
Testing team too strong.
Test team too strong.
Test team too strong.
Hey, we're sorry that y'all weren't in the gym when we were in the gym. We was putting up sets. Y'all was on the island sanctuary. So we're sorry. We're sorry. We'll make it easier for you.
How long did it take for them to pump the brakes on that? Like for them to patch the raid? How long did it take? How long has the raid been?
Not even 2 weeks.
Not even 2 weeks.
God damn.
Yeah, this is week 3. The patch was on Monday, and Tuesday was the start of week 3. What was happening is that if you didn't have a week 1 meta comp, and again, this only really matters on week 1, like week 1 to 2, because there's no gear. There's no gear, so you're just going in with bare bones. So unless you were in an optimal comp, like folks were just not clearing. And now the thing is, suboptimal comps did actually clear the fight, but there were a lot of people who were, even regardless of their comp, they were consistently not getting past enrage at they were dying on enrage at 1%. It was like a consistent 1% across multiples. Statics were breaking apart. People were tilted as fuck. It was pretty, people were losing their everlasting shit because just not able to get past the door boss. I know PF parties had made it past door boss, and PF is anything but optimal. So what they had done is they reduced the boss's health by 1% for the door boss and for the second phase boss.
So people are mad. So some folks are mad that they made it. They lowered his health a little bit.
Yes, right. The same people who were angry that that it was too hard are complaining that they reduced the boss's health.
Yes, because their entire personality has been built around, I'm a week 1 clear. I cleared this tier. But if everyone can clear it, what does that mean about me?
Well, and it's also people who didn't clear.
Yeah.
The people who didn't clear week 1 who were really angry about the difficulty of clearing week 1 and not being able to were also extremely mad about the change, and I genuinely don't understand.
No, they just hate it. It's just hate. They're just hating. They're just being haters.
It's very weird. I'm just I do sometimes really get to the point where I'm maybe you should go outside.
Yep. Game developers, except the Escape from Tarkov guys, will do everything in their power to make a game functional within a certain bracket. So they obviously crunched the data and thought it was best to lower the boss's health. If you don't understand that every game you play, the developers, except for Escape from Tarkov, the developers are actively trying to get you all to play it. If they find you can't, they will try to adjust it and allow. And this is just a general gaming rule now. I don't think we've accepted that as gamers, or maybe we've forgotten it as too much time has passed. Am I too old of a gamer? Do I remember when games used to come out, be 45 minutes long, stretched out across 8 hours with no patches and no game saves? Like, I remember when developers didn't care, and then on top of that, couldn't change anything anyway. So now I understand that all developers do care deeply, like a concerned uncle or aunt or anything, about us getting through their content. I thought that was understood, but apparently is not. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's been funny watching people yell and cry.
Yeah,
I say that like as I'm progging, like it is funny to watch people yell and cry.
Yes, I think that's the moral of the show. Is the developers want you to beat the game.
They want you to beat the game. They want you to get the win.
Keep that in mind. And if you want something that doesn't care about you, you can always play an older game. There are numerous games that don't care about your feelings, your existence, health, income, or anything. If you want to be be stepped on by the sharpest of stilettos, you can find that experience. But please watch where you are looking for it from. The trees you bark up. Because my God, we got people yelling at Final Fantasy developers. There's a whole Destiny story I'll talk about next episode, where there is just like the developers want you to succeed. If you want to challenge yourself, you have to go looking for the challenge. The thing you're currently doing, if you bought a game that came out in the last 8, 9, 10 years, they want to help you out. Is there anything anybody would like to add before we wrap it up so everyone can play Final Fantasy?
Haley Bailey is going to win an EGOT.
Oh, yeah, we need to go see Little Mermaid as a community. We also need to see
Can somebody just buy an extra ticket and say that I go, but I didn't?
Yeah, that's what we meant.
Yeah,
we're all diseased here in this country. We're not all gonna pack into a movie theater anymore, but we will buy.
Absolutely not.
Right, but we will buy tickets, and then we'll watch it on Disney Plus. Just to be clear, we're not doing the Black Panther thing physically again, but we will support The Little Mermaid because there's a lot of hand wringing about the skin color of a mermaid.
Oh, that too, yeah. That little teaser of her singing "Part of Your World," that girl is special.
Yes,
she is special.
Yes,
yeah. Like
she was a shockingly good casting for Ariel. Shockingly good.
I know someone that does it's part of the effects crew that's cleaning that up. And when they got to that, like collectively, the crew cried. They're like, "Yo, this is scary good."
Yep.
Like her and her sister are just incredible. I can't wait for all of their continued success. I have one complaint about The Little Mermaid.
What?
Lizzo is right there for Ursula. Lizzo would have been perfect as Ursula. Can you imagine Lizzo singing "Poor Unfortunate Souls"?
I'm not gonna lie. I still wanted Billy Porter.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. I could see it. I could see it.
Ursula is literally based off of a drag queen.
Ah.
Billy Porter also sneaky good voice.
Yeah, Billy Porter has a great voice, and like Ursula is literally designed after a drag queen.
Yeah, I can see Billy Porter as Ursula. That also would have been a sneaky good casting.
Like when they were talking about like this movie coming out and casting for Ursula, that was like the popular. Like, please get Billy Porter for this.
That's real sound.
I don't know who Ursula is, but it's not Billy Porter, so I don't care. I mean, I care, but I don't.
It's not Megan McCarthy. Who is it?
You guys, I'm looking it up now.
Yeah. Oh, it is Melissa McCarthy.
It is Melissa
Excuse me.
McCarthy. Yes, it is actually Melissa McCarthy. Yes.
Well then, that was a choice.
I don't understand that choice, but
I mean, there are only so many Negroes you can have doing stuff.
There's two in this movie.
Yeah, I said what I said.
oh no, we have a record of 2. It's not possible.
We said 2. It's not a movie about Negroes. Like, so it's not like in Wakanda. So
Hold on, wasn't Billy Porter also in Chicago? What am I
Yes.
thinking of that he was in? That
Oh,
they
he
were
was.
in? Grease. That's what I was thinking of. Okay, there we go. I'm like, I know they've been in like some old school classic Broadway. It was Grease. That's what I was thinking of. There we go. Sorry, that was going to bother me for the rest of the night.
well, we are
Valid.
All right, so we're gonna see The Little Mermaid, and we're gonna talk about it as a community. I want to also see The Woman King. Also, see that.
Oh yeah, I really do want to see The Woman King. That looks so good.
Right. So there's a lot of black ass movies we have to be going to see or buy tickets for, depending on how full the theater is going to be. One of the benefits of living amongst so many white people is certain movies you can see real late and no one will be in the theater because there's too many Negroes in it.
Fair.
They can't relate. So I know if I catch the 10 p.m. showing of The Woman King, it will just be me and like 8 niggas in the theater. And it'll be great. But I believe we've reached our program. We've done it. We did the show.
It was a long show to make up for the last show, which was a short show.
That's right. Timed it better. Got all the content out. Extra content. Had a little talk about January 6th trials. A little cryptocurrency talk. We all have our assignment. Buy black ass tickets to black ass movies. You have a moral of the story. Game developers want you to beat their game. Stop yelling at them. That's how they make their money. You beating their game. So I think we have a comprehensive episode of ADD Space. So,
Ayo.
So I'd like to thank you all for listening. And have a pleasant day.
Watch the WNBA finals.